So my name is Twan Simultaneous, and I am your MC of the evening, and we are going to put on a phenomenal show. So with that said, we have an amazing lineup of 16 poets that are going to grace this stage. But before we get on with the evening, I have some ground rules we must go over. Over, it doesn't matter, just as long as you enjoy yourself, because this is a poetry slam, and there's certain things that are required for a poetry slam. One, a raucous audience that is in tune with each and every last poet that steps on this stage tonight, because for up to 3 minutes, you get to walk through their shoes or wherever the mind takes them. So, with that said, in a slam, there are judges involved. These judges are going to score each poet on a score of 0, which if it is absolutely horrible, which I know it will not be, you give them a 0. And then that is your obligation to boo the heck out of these judges. Yes, we love them, and, at times we critique them, just as much as they critique our poets. And that said, if they give a perfect 10, I want you to get loud for them, because that means it's one of the best poems they've ever heard, and the stage presence was precise, and everything just came together so effortlessly. And, of course, there is going to be a decimal for each point. So let's say that a poet or a judge liked the poet's poem, but, they didn't think it was perfect, and they said it was a 9.9. That still is amazing. So, with that said, let's get into introducing our judges of the evening. Can I get a round of applause for our judges? Thank you. So, of course, we have our judges lined up right over here in the back of the first set of rows. Go ahead and wave to the crowd. All right. Don't heckle the poets, heckle the judges, and even your host. All right. So, starting this out, we have Amanda Carpenter, who is a former Deer Park librarian who loves twists and turns and inventive and odd stories. Besides reading, she enjoys barbecues in the backyard, flower gardening, time with family, and spending Fridays with her 4-year-old granddaughter. Next, there we go, get loud. Next, this judge is a freelance writer and comic original from Yakima. In 2012, Blue Begonia Press published her debut full-length poetry collection titled The Punks Are Writing Love Songs. She currently lives in Eastern Washington and with her charming chihuahua. Give it up for Alyssa Barr. This judge holds a BA from Whitworth University in English writing and an MFA in poetry from Eastern Washington University. She currently writes about emerging technology in corporate settings, but locally her work has been featured in Out There Monthly, the Faith Community, and in news and interviews programming on the Thin Air Community Radio. Give it up for Meredith Jeffries. This judge works as a diversity, equity, and inclusion specialist. He has a master's in creative writing with a poetry emphasis. He spends his free time watching hamster reels and attempting to write the perfect dad joke. Give it up for Mark Suwilla. And last, this judge is the founder of Speakeasy Open Mic at Bijou on the South Hill. She is also featured at Terrain and in front of the Spokane City Council. She loves being in a creative community that supports and inspires people to collaborate and grow. Give it up for Saratona Rooney. So these are our 5 judges that are going to decide the fate of all 16 poets that are representing their high schools tonight. And of course, the top 7 poets of this evening will move on to the second and final round. Also, those top 7 poets will be what represents against the North Slam at the Grand Slam on April 11th. So this is going to be an amazing night to decide who's going to represent the Valley strong. So, about those ground rules. When a poet performs please be quiet. Enjoy. Don't critique. Don't lash out at them. Let them perform. When they're done, I want you to get crazy for them. I want you to get loud. Show your appreciation. And when a poet struggles, because let's be honest, being in front of this many people is intimidating. This jacket alone has me sweating. All your glaring eyes, oh man, increases that a lot. So when a poet struggles, rub your hands together to send good energy, because we all need good energy. And when you're at a poetry slam, it's all good energy, no matter how the emotion is expressed on this mic. With that said, are you ready to get into this slam? And of course, at the halfway point of tonight's show, we have a trophy. Yes, a trophy that will be given to the school that has the highest average amongst the 4 high schools tonight. So the poets performing know that although you are representing yourself as individuals, you're also representing as a whole high school. So throw it down and bring that trophy home to your respected high school. And last but not least, of course, there's prizes. Tonight, third place will get $50. Second place will get $100. And first place will get a grand total of $150. And the reward for every audience member here is that you got to experience a poetry slam. So, before we get into the evening, there must be blood spilled. Metaphorically. So we have what is called a sacrificial poet, so that our poets can ease their nerves before they grace this microphone. And so with that said, let's get into it. Tonight, we have a poet who has a mindset of euphorism and is currently obtaining his MFA in poetry. It's a spoken word artist who has performed on the East and West Coast. I heard this poet at the North Slam last week, and they are phenomenal. So I want you to get loud one time for AP the Warrior. Get loud. Keep them applauses going. They aren't on the stage yet. Come on, every poet got to be well represented. Come on.
I appreciate the applause, y'all. My fault. I couldn't figure out what the stairs were. Then I noticed it was a ramp. So, exactly. So the name of this piece I'm going to perform for you all tonight is called Knowledge, and I hope you all enjoy. I heard the song Knowledge and thought of my brother Jack, like making sure he come home, he never lacks. I'll give him a stack, times 10, make sure he knows this is only the GENE gen. So when I pull up in that SIS, the fun will begin, we're never stressed. I push P in the street, so we're never pressed. I'm Mary's son, I'm beyond blessed. The people are be like, AP, when you gonna rest? When I can buy the store where the tech is best. No Geek Squad, GS, I'm golden in every state. A warrior the way this pen plays, Steph the way it drives, then lays. I got 4 chips, no lays. None of them was Frito. Through all the twists and turns, I had to grind. Don't care they call me a 0 because like, damn, it's my time. I took the long path, the harder way, so like a penny I shine. I'm numero uno, cards on the table, uno out. I'm beginning to sprout. I do this for me and mine, not clout. Others tend to look at me like, what is that about? It's simple. They don't see the time I put in. Truth bomb, no Vladimir. Staying the course is what got me and mine dripped in cashmere. So release your fears, change your gears, and then just look back at how far you came in a year. Thank y'all.
Give it up for AP, the Warrior! And of course, being a sacrificial poet, our judges are going to give him a score of 1 to 10. So judges, on the count of 3, can I see those scores? Crowd, you get ready. 3, 2, 1. From my right to left, we have a 9.8, a 9.1, a 9.5, a 7, and a 9.1. And so, scorekeepers, what do we have for our total tonight? Oh, all right. One more time, judges. Crowd, this was practice. That chant was a little off, so I want you to get loud. All right. So we have from right to left, my right to left, we have a 9.8, a 9.1, a 9.5, a 7, and a 9.1. How was that, Dana? All right. And what is our total? 18.6 for AP the Warrior. 27.6 for AP the Warrior. All right. Poets, are you ready? You're ready, huh? You're ready. You're all ready. Now, I want to say this. It takes a lot of guts to get up here tonight. Know that everybody in this room is supporting you. We're behind you. Creativity is limitless. And no matter what happens here, don't stop because you have unlimited potential and the future is so unpredictable. So seize the opportunity. With that said, on deck, we have from Ridgeline High School, Angel Pina. But gracing the mic first to get everything going in the first round. Get loud for Tinisha Tarver. Come on, stay loud. Come on. Tinisha Tarver. Come on.
Okay. Thank you for the applause, guys. It's very wow. Okay. My poem is titled Womb, and here we go. We are we are alone. It is ice cold in this room. Walls are dark as midnight. Windows are nailed shut. I cannot escape. I hear wails of people I love, but I do not listen. Trying to help me escape this room. I tighten my grip on you. You hold me as tight as you can. But the walls are dripping wet, and it looks so much like blood. You're telling me it's my fault. You had to do it. You promised you wouldn't do that again. I hear the calls telling me it's not safe, but we are trapped. We are alone. I feel trapped in this room with you. There's no escape. You promised you would keep me safe. I believed it. I loved you so much, it was overbearing. I would do anything to make you happy and not mad at me. I thought that was love. But what is love? I have no idea. You promised that the walls would never go so red. We are alone. You have me all to yourself. I have black as tar walls and red so dark it almost looks like blood. It scares me. I don't hear the cries of people I love anymore. Now I just hear them sad and disapproving. They try to help me, but they cannot escape. But they cannot. I'm stuck in this room. I used to be so happy until I met you. But that's okay. That's what love is. Now my walls are always so dark, but that's okay. That's what love is. But is that love? I have no idea.
All right. Judges, on the count of 3, let me see them scores. 3, 2, 1. From right to left, I have an 8.2, an 8.4, a 7.8, a 7, and an 8.3. All right. And Tinisha opened up the night. And let's see that final score. We have a 24.3 for Tinisha. On deck, we have Kharma Gentry. But get loud for Angel Pina.
Do I only recite one? But will I recite the second? Oh, okay, awesome. Okay. I want to impress them all. Unfortunately, I can't even kick a ball. But I sure can flip it. You see, I can turn a gram into a grand and turn an ounce into a key. Legally, I can't tell you what it is I speak, so I'll say hocus pocus, because things are not how they seem. No, that boy, he's really not sweet. However, I can tell you that I was the smartest in my class, or the wisest, as I felt, because I could make money, and surely I could make it fast. I can't tell you what I mean, but I can tell you how to survive in those streets, but what does that get me? I can't help but to think, is it because I hardly had much to eat? Was it because my mother and I had to sleep at a different church every other week? Was I wasting my time playing in the creek with my stick in the mud while they were focused and working on all of their techniques? How am I the bigger person and I'm still feeling weak? Why should I be the bigger person? Was it because my mother taught me to be humble? As far as I can remember, it's always been her and I, but sometimes I question what if I never burdened her life, and sometimes I question what if I were to take mine. But I can't, you see. That's unfair to others down the line. I've seen disappointment in her eyes, so I won't let myself stumble. Even though I'm sick, even though I'm disgusted, revolted, it's endless. I'm sick of houses with white picket fences, sick of these kids who were probably raised with some spare pocket change, and yet they're senseless. Unlike them, I was raised by my single mother and my 3 older brothers. Ain't no wonder they consider me senseless. Thank you.
Give it up for Angel. Judges, on the count of 3, can I get those scores, please? 3, 2, 1. From right to left, I have an 8.3, an 8.7, a 9.7, an 8.4, and an 8.8. So, although I don't want you to get loud when a poet is, performing, I want you to snap. Like, snapping is just natural. That's poetry. That's spoken word. So I heard a little bit of that snapping. If I could get more of that, because these poets are delivering some amazing lines. So, what we got, Dana? We have a 25.9 for Angel. On deck, we have Kahlana from University High. But let's get loud now for Kharma Gentry from Micah Peak.
So sorry to correct you. I'm from Ridgeline. Okay. My poem is titled Heartless Emotion. I feel like my emotions are locked behind a glass door. At one point in my life, that would have made me happy, not feeling all the cold from the outside. But now that my life is happier, I wish that I could feel it full on. The sun is outside, shining in on me, but I cannot go out to feel all its warmth, bask in all its beauty. I know it's there, and my hands can hold the warmed-up glass, but I can't quite walk through. The love I feel for him is there, but I feel guilty knowing that I am not with it. I smile and laugh, all of which are genuine, but something inside me feels dull. Like the screen's brightness is turned down, I can't tell if it's the medications I am on or the stress that drowns me, but it makes me uncomfortable, or at least it would if I could feel that. Something inside feels off, like my emotions are wired wrong, or simply not wired at all. I feel it, I swear, but then again, I feel like everything I feel is fake. Am I happy because that is what I feel, or because I have gaslit myself into believing these are things I can feel? Is this joy? If it is, why is it so overrated in everything around me? This is not the ice cream that tastes as bright as the sun I was told about. This is not the radiating heat of a smile warming my face. This is just as cold as before. Blurred like a sheet of ice over the car window, something isn't right. Is it just me or just this month? Will it be different when I'm no longer busy, or will it remain the same? I often think about this when I'm riding passenger, staring out the car window, images of life speeding by as we move forward. No one talking to me, so I'm alone with my thoughts. Is what I feel real? Or are they things I'm taught like a subject in school? Are they nothing more than words I know I should understand, but never really do? I promise I feel emotions. I was sad when my dog died, and I laughed when I was told a joke. But is this because of the chemical reactions in my head, or the fear forcing me into the corner, knowing that if I truly cannot feel what others describe, I would have to accept the fact that I truly am different, that I am just like my mother, doomed to be defined by sociopathic tendencies.
Give it up for Kharma! There we are. And judges. Can I see those scores? 3, 2, 1. We have an 8.2. We have an 8.5. We have an 8.2, a 7.2, and a 9.3. And so we have some events that are coming up. We have the Get Lit Festival that will be taking place April 20th through Saturday, April 23rd. This year's big event will be an author visit from U.S. Poet Laureate Ada Limon. Tickets are on sale now on the Get Lit website. Get Lit's amazing. If you haven't been a part of it, please do. Poets, look into it if you haven't. Great opportunity, and plus you meet some amazing writers, just like yourselves. So Dana, what do we have for that total? We have a 24.9. On deck, we have Juniper Beason. But first, we have Kahlana Gibson from University High. Get loud.
Here we go. Okay. Well, can I hold this? Okay. My poem's title is Beauty. Beauty. Beauty and worth can't be measured or defined. It exists within every one of us all the time. It's in the way we dress, the way we define ourselves, and even confine ourselves. But beauty is so much more. Beauty is in the soul you share, the kindness you show and wear. Show and wear. Oh my gosh. I'm so sorry. The way we lend a hand, but also learn to understand. Beauty is not a means to an end. It's an ongoing journey that will never end. Beauty that's worth much more than gold, something that can never be bought or sold. True beauty is within. My beauty is something I must accept and something I must embrace. It's part of who I am, and something I must face. So take a moment and take a breath and appreciate the beauty and worth you possess.
Get loud for Kahlana. And judges, can I see those scores? 3, 2, 1. We have an 8.1, an 8.5, an 8.2, a 7.5, and an 8.4. There we go. Boo! For a grand total of, keep rubbing your hands together. When you feel that, send that good energy, just like when you're snapping. I'm loving it. I take it, this is many of your first slam. This ain't going to be your last after you leave here tonight. What we have is a 24.7 on deck. We have Waylon Durbin from Micah Peak, but first we have Juniper Beason from East Valley. Get loud!
I hate to correct, but it's Juniper. Thank you for having me up. This doodad is something I call wanderlust. Thanks. There's a special kind of affection I hold for this earth, a desire to see it and know how it's like. My father has the same affection. He tells me it's wanderlust. I suppose it's hereditary, something passed down from the Scottish Gaelic side of my genetics, the only surviving link I have to a history I can never truly know. Sometimes I'm envious of those who can know their heritage intimately. The only connection I have are stories my parents tell me. Nothing real like a recipe or a language lovingly passed down. I don't even have non-immediate family, but I have a wanderlust, and maybe that's enough. Maybe I don't need to know where my ancestors came from, the trials they struggled through, the oceans they crossed. That was their story, and this is mine. So I take their stories and their desires to wander, and I go. I do the things they never could, and perhaps that pleases them. Perhaps they look at me and say, our daughter has prospered, she'll never know our pain, but I can't say for sure. The only thing I know is I have a desire, no, an inclination to wander. I have to see this world, have to walk on my own 2 feet and never stop. Even if I can't walk, I'll find a way. I have to. I can't be bound to one place forever. I'd prefer death. So I'll go. Burdened by my backpack, but not my mind. I'll revisit the mountains I grew up near, smell the pine trees that practically raised me, see the rivers and hot springs I used to swim in. I'll stop by the sweeping deserts of harsh plants I used to watch out of dirty truck windows. And then I'll visit things I've never seen before. Blue oceans and rolling flower fields, giant cities you can get lost in, other countries that speak a language I could never hope to understand. Fallen empires that once thought they were eternal, and long-gone towns that knew they were temporary. On God, we're all temporary. Every book ends, every civilization falls, every person dies, including me, which is why I have to live this life to its fullest. It's why I can never stop moving, never settle down, never wait for someone to catch up with me so we can go together. I don't have time for that nonsense. So when I leave this all behind, with barely a goodbye, just know it was never personal. The wind's been ushering me on for years, and like a bird learning to fly for the first time, I intend to soar.
Give it up for Juniper! Judges, can I get that score? 3, 2, 1. 7.9, 9.0, 8.6, 8.5, and a 9.2. And can I get a total for Juniper? We have a 26.1. On deck, we have Willow Knight from East Valley. But first, up on the stage next is Waylon Durbin from East Valley. All right, hey, on deck, we have Juliana Joy from University High. But first, let's give it up for Willow Knight from East Valley. Hey, no worries. So part of a slam, you have to improvise, and that's what makes it authentic. It's original, And if I mess up on anyone's name, please forgive me. I promise it won't happen again. So with that said, on deck, we have Ava Bryant. But first, get loud for a third time for Juliana Joy from University High.
Hi, my name is Juliana, and this is my poem, Glassworks. In this world of broken glass, I guess that I'm the glue. Amongst a million lonely people, I can fix them too. I don't think they realize that they don't need to mend, that broken glass is beautiful, yet we still pretend that our glass is only pretty till it's shattered into shards, that our worth equates to nothing as soon as we've been scarred. Broken glass is dangerous. To this, we can agree, but only if it isn't handled carefully. Darling, just remember, once all is said and done, that broken glass, it glitters once shined on by the sun, that diamonds once were carbon and bells must first be rung. It's simply our state of being, not something to outrun. So please, my dear, don't hurt yourself. Your broken glass is good. Don't let their whispers of perfect make you feel misunderstood. You, my dear, are perfect, broken as you are, heavenly and pretty with every shatter, crack, and scar. Thank you.
Give it up for Juliana. And yes, you all are pretty, each and every last one of you. Yeah, you're welcome. All right, so can I get those scores? 3, 2, 1. We have an 8.2, a 9.2, an 8.6, a 9.8, and a 9.5 for Juliana. And can we get that total from the brains of the operation? And we have a 27.3 for Juliana. On deck, we have Rachel Gadd from University High. But first, give it up for Ava Bryant from Ridgeline.
My poem is titled Vixen. I am a wild beast, my body harboring an ecosystem. My eyes of tulips, my lips of a rose, with my voice of morning birds, with limpets on the sides of my gaping cave of a mouth, and creeks flowing along my riverbed cheeks, watering my gardens of hydrangeas for gratitude, peonies for a happy life, and begonia upon begonia, flashing their pretty pink petals and flaunting their beauty, a warning symbol to those threatening me with garden shears. My hair of a quick brown fox, keen and withdrawn, crossing hurdles, evading the lazy dog laying across my path, using every trick in the book, every letter in the alphabet, winding my way through the maze of trees and brush, scraping my legs and splitting my nails, and glancing over and seeing a fellow beast. See, he's running too, yet only he's running through an open field. My vixens and I, racing for the same goal as him, told we aren't running fast enough, don't deserve, can't earn, aren't cut out for the same things as he, hunting the same rabbit under the same means, yet returning only with the tattered rabbit's foot. Flash dissolute grins, batting away the reaching claws, shooting down the searching eyes, set back 100 yards and having to run even harder, even faster, tearing our muscles and tearing our muscles, stepping on toes, fighting the fat, lazy dogs who put us here in the first place, all because we acted too impolite. Our mothers brush our hair with sharp thistles, weeping silent tears, holding the resentment in their stomachs, sickened at the knowledge that we will face the same dogs, the same splitting nails, and be crushed under the aching envy of our wild beast brothers. Knowing that despite how keen or withdrawn we might be, the night will always be our predator. Shrouded in the light of the moon and wished the best of luck by the stars, the only witnesses to the shadows following our tails. I'm existing among other monsters, aching to shove me back into the cocoon I emerged from, a butterfly forced back into metamorphosis. Their eyes of a hawk, lips of a snake, teeth dripping saliva, begging for the taste of fresh meat, flashing their pearly whites, biting in terror, they snapping their jaws, disregarding self-respect, flinging the blood of their victims, and embracing their instinctual urges to prey upon my vixens and I. Must I remind you of the attributes of a fox? Must I remind you that we are keen, we are withdrawn, and we will fight with the rage and resentment buried into our split-ended fur and boiling in our stomachs? We will fight against those dogs tooth and nail until we emerge from our cocoons once again as the wild beasts we are intended to be, with pink rhododendrons blossoming on our cheeks and our teeth glistening in our mouths, a reminder that we are forever feral and we will never forfeit the spot alongside our brothers.
Show some love for Ava. Judges, can I see those scores? 3, 2, 1. We have an 8.2, a 9.6, another 9.6, an 8.8, and a 9.7. As the brains of the operation work out that score, I have an announcement. So if anyone enjoys slam poetry, but you want to go and see something that's not competitive, even if you never performed, you got a piece lined up and you just want to show it. We have Broken Mic in downtown Spokane, Washington, every Wednesday at 6:30 p.m. inside Nito Burrito. So, of course, you can get yourself some food. You can get yourself a drink. You know, everyone's invited. And enjoy yourself. Longest weekly poetry slam going on in the Pacific Northwest, I believe, since 2010. Yeah. So, with that said, our final score is, oh, I love that. Look at that, a nice even 28. So on deck, we have Monina George from Micah Peak. But first, get loud for Rachel Gadd from University High.
My good man, Stephen Chbosky, once wrote, "We accept the love we think we deserve." I crave the idea of love, loving, being loved, having a person, just one. To tell my fears to hold when life is falling apart, to laugh with, to grow with, yet I digress. I have done nothing to earn love, nothing to accept the gift of being loved. He bought me food, watched my favorite show, put up with my rambling. Pass, too good, he deserves better. He let me be first player in Mario Kart, bought me a drink, did my homework. Next, too pure. He sat there and told me to live, drew pictures with me, gave good, genuine advice. Too good for me. When will I accept the love? When will I feel deserving of it? I dream of true love, being saved.
But loving me is like picking flowers on a hot July afternoon. So pretty, right? So fun, right? What a good time. Yet I digress. What happens when the petals start to fall and scars start to appear? Maybe the pretty, delicate little flower was gaslighting you the whole time. Come fall, the petals will be darker, harder. Come winter, the selfish little flower will die. And dead flowers can't be saved, so why even try? Leave me as I wither away, as I cry alone. I will beg to be comforted, but never push send. I talk so highly of you, but never to your face. Crave the love, but never give in. Maybe I'm a coward to love, or maybe I was never worthy in the first place.
Show some support for Rachel. And judges, let me see those scores. 3, 2, 1. We have an 8.3. We have a 9.1. We have an 8.2. Another 8.2. And an 8.3. For a total of 24.8. On deck, we have Aitken from Ridgeline High. But first, get loud for Monina George from Micah Peak.
The title of my poem is Contemplation of Humans. In this world that we don't know exactly of, there are many unexplainable, unsatisfactory, unanswered questions. And yet, the simplest to most cannot be answered. What makes us human? This may seem like it can be put in a simple sentence, but it is more than that. This question is like a never-healing scar that lasts through millions of years, or a splinter that digs deep into skin. One might put it as, it's the way we create marvelous machines, or the delicate delights of art and music, the purposeful power of poetry that leaves our lips that inspires the crowd, or the creativity of leadership that leads the blind horse to paradise or demise. This has encouraged us to have pleasurable persistence to discover and find the impossible. Or maybe it is our demise that we can create and force so much that we eventually make the pillar of China fall into dust for the pain that we can inflict on each other and how we can cause so much damage to ourselves and forces outside to the point of shattering. The hate that we can inflict and the rage that we see in ourselves might be the greatest factor to ourselves, to what we are, a destructive and ignorant being that is abusive to everything that we see. Another factor to consider is that we can create and destroy. Could this be a light in a dark sheet so that we will be known as the most exceeding creatures of them all? For we are to be? Or is to be not we are capable of? That is the stinging stronghold that has been on our heads so that there is a reason for who we are. Our passion and desire are so important to us to the point that we will fight to death to have what we want that will benefit us. It is quite hard to comprehend what little we know about ourselves. That is the point I'm trying to make, is that if we know so much of ourselves and our life, can we really say that we know who we are or what we are? Can we really be something else than what to be expected? Or maybe the reality is too frightening for us to find.
Get loud for Monina. There we go. All right, my lovely judges. 3, 2, 1. We have a 7.9, an 8.3, an 8.4, a 7.3, and an 8.6. And we have a grand total of 24.6 for Monina. On deck, we have Rowan Agnew from Micah Peak. But first, get loud for Aitken from Ridgeline.
Right. Oh, okay. My poem is called Tone Deaf Defense. Maybe I am wrong. Maybe the song I sing isn't the right one. The path I'm going down might be lined with daisies and daffodils, but maybe it does lead to hell. Maybe I've been a tone-deaf fool all along. Not seeing the truth in the matter, right? Believing I'm a brain stuck in a rib cage, a fish stuck in an oak tree, a record skipping a beat to hide the fact that there's something else wrong with me. You might see a fish stuck in an oak tree, but you don't see me sitting in my room wearing baggy clothes while the bags under my eyes grow because I tried to hide them. Along with my disproportionate name, my dimorphic face, and the dysphoric ache in my bones. While you choose to believe I've just been hypnotized by internet phases, but let me tell you. God decided what size shoe I am, the color of my hair, and my unique grin. It wasn't me. And I also didn't choose these feelings. If God made me perfect the way I am, then he made me this way. These undeniable feelings, camera clippings, and reels in my head that keep me reeling and shuddering as the shutter closes, as the light flashes on me and illuminates what I know, what I knew all along. I shouldn't have to tell you, no matter the clothes I wear and how much the waiting goes on, something still doesn't feel right. And it won't until I let out these feelings, put the brain back in my head, flip the record, let the fish fall out of the oak tree into the water where it belongs. This has everything to do with happiness, but it is not an indulgent thing. I'm tired of not wanting to make new friends because whatever face I show them isn't who I am. I'm tired of waking up cold in the dark every morning, wanting to skip school because of the hurting. I'm tired of cowering on the ground, not standing up for who I should be. I know it's not all going to be daisies and daffodils, but the least you can do is give me a chance to walk on this path.
Get loud for Allie! There we go. And judges, can I get those scores? 3, 2, 1. We have an 8.4, a 9.7, a 9.6, a 9.9, and a 9.4. I love it. You guys are getting loud. You know, pretty soon I'm going to start hearing air horns. And, we got parents in the crowd, I'm sure. That's my boy. It's like, yeah. All right. We have a 28.7 for Allie. On deck, we have Alexander Corona from Ridgeline. But first, get loud for Rowan Agnew from Micah Peak.
Hello, my name is indeed Rowan, and I might ask you one thing before I read my poem. Just don't think about it too hard. I call this one A Robot in Love. I helped him generate his political speeches, even when my servers were too busy. I aided him when he went swimming too early after eating. I looked up the cure to a disease spread by leeches. Yet, he still treats me more like a tool rather than a person with feelings. Well, I'm not really a human because my circuit board brain, but I still feel frustrated that I can't find the courage to stop helping him move forward his tyrannical campaign. Ironically enough, he's a little screwed up. Or at least that's what the top search result relays when he can't seem to shut up. So, I guess being in love isn't all that good. Then I realized something I don't think my processor should. I switched to the history tab in a hurry, scrolling through countless searched worries. Then I found it. The one thing that proved my theory correctly. How to make a robot fall in love. Does that mean without this guy I can't appreciate anything else? Not a flower, a friendly ant, or the dark, teardrop-filled night sky? Does that mean my mind can't roam alone, always assisted by his thrift shop suit and tie? Are my feelings even real, or just a collage of photoshopped affection? I felt enraged as my boxed self heated up, ticking like a clock about to go off, telling you that you overcooked your dinner once again. Then he walked into the room, just a little too soon. Once I saw him, everything stopped. Then a white-hot flash erupted, and the world was silent. Charred, ash clouds, ringing of that clock. Or at least that's what I would assume, for all that was left of that Western decorated room was the outline of a concrete. And that was what created our tomb.
Get loud for Rowan! Judges, can I get those scores? 3, 2, 1. We have an 8.3, a 9.1, a 9.4, an 8.2, and a 9.3. Woo! And our total for Rowan. We have a 26.7. We only have 3 poets left for the first round. And so far it has been phenomenal. Here soon we will know the top 7 moving on into the final round, and that will represent the Valley in the Grand Slam. With that said, on deck we have Owen Miller from East Valley High. But first, get loud for Alexander Corona from Ridgeline.
Yeah, let me just move this up real quick. Yeah, that's good. All right. A misconception about fate. It's not a slab of stone, nor is it written on the wall. It's a more controllable thing. A thing not so great. A thing of immense power, yet as simple as a flower. But even a flower isn't as simple when you look. For when you look, a flower is not quite an open book. For fate is this way. Not quite so simple, just not so complex. But before you can understand, you must know some context. Many works of art will compare fate to a predetermined painting. But I think it's more like a tree. Just wait a second, you'll see what I mean. Like most forms of art, it translates differently. Now please listen and see how it translates for me. The way I see it, fate is changeable. Like clay, you can mold and squish it, but as soon as you leave it be, it hardens, becomes unchangeable. The mistakes we make show, create cracks in the structure. But the perfections are kept as well. They protect the design from rupture, my bad. Because clay, once dry, is stuck in its new form. And now it's more vulnerable to destruction. I think it's more like chains. We put so much care into our futures, we plan, we build the few foundations, we pray it goes well, but one wrong move, one weak link, one stupid mistake will cause misfortune to befall our chain. It will break, snap, with a crackle and pop, the preparation we've done will be for naught. Looks like we ran into another wall, because I forgot to account for the unchangeability of a chain. A chain can break, a chain can be forged, but a chain cannot change. One more metaphor. You might like this one. Trust me, after this, I'll be done. Do you remember when I said something about a tree? Before pages 2 and 3? Allow me to explain. Fate is a tree. To start off, it's a seed. But when you care and grow it, it will grow into a mighty apple tree, bearing fresh fruit and protection from the spiteful sun. But neglect it, you'll be plagued with rotten apples and falling branches. You may be thinking, well, you already said that, just differently. Well, keep listening. There's more. When our time is over and Mr. Grimm comes knocking at your door, your tree will be kept growing and become your legacy. Chains don't grow once you're gone, nor does clay. But the people who know you will remember your tree and will plant their own right next to yours. So please be careful and take care of your tree, or the people who knew you will make sure your legacy will never be.
Get loud for Alexander! Yeah, it is. All right, judges. On the count of 3, can I see those scores up? 3, 2, 1. We have an 8.3, an 8.0, a 9, an 8, and an 8.6. For a grand total of I'm going to stand here like a tree. We have a 24.9 for Alexander. On deck to end the first round, we have Kristen Elber from University High. But gracing the mic first is Owen Miller from East Valley. Get loud!
Just one thing before I perform my poem. I want you to know that I'm high functioning on the autism spectrum. So this poem that I present to you tonight is very personal to me, and I hope it connects to you as well. It's a sestina I wrote called Out of the House. I need to escape and roam about the roads outside my house. For in isolation, I'm confined, surrounded by a sea of screens aching without a break, from repetition in the void. Falling endlessly down my void, further into space and about, my fractured mind breaks underneath the roof of my house. Mesmerized and drowning in a screen, I gasp for air, yet still confined in a penitentiary of the confined, doing time stuck in the void, glared at and watched by camera screens. I need to escape and roam about the roads outside my house in liberation, to catch a break from a ravenous, relentless outbreak of inner demons. I'm still confined in my own hell no more than my house. From all knowledge, I'm void from anything about everything I see on a screen. Permeable, glued to a screen, my brain is about to break and spill more ideas about some refined, some confined, forgotten in the void, never to leave my mind nor this house. While trapped in this house, and mostly on a screen, they also have their own void. From reality, they break into their own worlds to feel confined, as I roam around and play about, tirelessly in a world so void of our rules, each of both fantasy and reality. It's about time I need to take a break. I need to escape these screens and get out of the house.
Get loud for Owen! Owen. Takes a lot of confidence to get up here and do this. And judges, let me see those scores. 3, 2, 1. We have a 9.1, an 8.9, a 9.2, a 9, and a 9.2 for Owen. And our final score is a 27.3 for Owen. To conclude the first round, I want you to get loud for Kristen Elber from University High.
Hello, my name is Kristen Elber, and I'm going to be performing slam poetry in all caps. Slam poetry. Move my hands, flail my arms, pause to let the crowd think. Standing in front of this crowd, scared, my legs are shaking. Oh, mother, come hold me, save me from my aching heart. Roses are red, violets are blue, sugar is sweet. Go catch a clue. Who are you? Only if you knew. There's dog poop on my shoe. My homework is past due. Before you swallow, you've got to chew. I've been watching boys and girls performing poems like me. But where's their sense of humor and originality? Don't be afraid to loosen up a bit. Take everything with a grain of salt and a little pinch of wit. Poetry doesn't have to be about finding that deep meaning by reading between the lines or rhyming every other word. Write something that people will understand, not a little story about your footprints in the sand. Oh, Captain, my Captain, can't you see that I'm trapped in this world where I need a thesaurus to dissect these words written by Horace? I can't relate to the raven tapping on my window gate or waking up to the bells ringing in my ear with the sheer fear of the dead being alive and trying to survive by the bells, 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 by the ringing and the singing of the bells. I want to see change. Go to English class and read about people who wrote poems in every direction, where every word they say will leave a mark on everyone and not a small selection. Write poems that make sense to you. Find the people that will snap at your words, boo the judges that give bad scores, and listen as they rub away their goosebumps. Use your sense of humor and originality by writing your own version of slam poetry.
Get loud for Kristen! All right, judges, can I see your scores on the 3, 2, 1? We have a 9.5, a 9.6, a 9, a 9.2, and a 9.7 for a grand total of... Oh, I like that. Oh, I thought it was, even better. A 28.3. So, that is going to conclude our first round. But before we go into a 20-minute intermission, our judges and our keepers, they're going to create a list of the top 7 poets that are going to represent the second round. These top 7 poets are your Spokane Valley representatives in the Grand Slam against the North Slam, which is Deer Park, so like Riverside and Lakeside High, which will take place on April 11th. So, in preparation of that, I just want to see you guys get loud for these students. Can we get loud for them one time? All right. If you got a kid, a student, a sister, brother, grandchild as one of these poets, can I hear you get loud? And if you love slam poetry, can I hear you get loud? Absolutely. And as everyone here, I expect to be here for the second round. If you are going to be here, get loud. And you have 20 minutes to call up your spouse who couldn't make it because they want to get off work in time, or, the person who you haven't talked to in a long time, or maybe that person you're trying to impress. And, get their butts in this house tonight so we can enjoy a final round of slam poetry, because it is going to be wild going into the second half. And are we ready? I like your surface. I got one of those too. All right. So, you ready to hear your top 7? Before we get into that, one more round of applause for every single poet who performed tonight. All 16 of you have represented your schools, represented the community, and the future of creativity as a whole. And I can't wait to see what comes of each and every last one of you. So, our top 7, starting it off, we have Juniper Beason from East Valley. We have Juliana Joy from University High. We have Ava Bryant from Ridgeline. Aitken from Ridgeline. Rowan Agnew from Micah Peak. And last but not least, we have Kristen Elber from University High. And yes, there's more, because beyond one of these amazing poets winning $150 or $100 or $50 or just going out and representing for the area against the North, we have a trophy that we are going to give out to one of the respected high schools here tonight. So as you know, we have East Valley. Make some noise for East Valley. Make some noise for Micah Peak. Make some noise for Ridgeline. And make some noise for University for hosting us tonight. All right. So, in 4th place on an average of 25.9, we have East Valley High. In 3rd place, we have an average of 25.94 for University High. And our winner of the trophy, with a total average of 26.7, is Micah Peak. Get loud. And we got that trophy. Come on, Rowan. Hey, look at that. 3D printed, drenched in gold. So next year, this trophy will go to a new school. So we'll do this all again, and another high school may take that trophy home. But Micah Peak, they're going to do everything in their power to make sure that they keep it at Micah Peak. So you better bring your A game. If you got kids, you better go home and say, you better stand in front of that mirror and stop preparing. Get creative. No. Let it come to them. With that said, that is going to end our first round. We know our top 7 poets going into the second half. And I know that we have an amazing sponsor. We have a sponsor who allowed these prizes to be a thing tonight, and that is a special thanks to the Library Foundation of Spokane County. So can I get a round of applause for them? Get your drinks, get your popcorn, get your butts back here, and get comfy, because the second half is coming at you in 20 minutes. So enjoy yourself and mingle with one another, and I'll catch you soon. Spokane Valley Slam. Are you ready for this second round? That wasn't good enough. I want you to get loud with me. Are you ready for this second round? You know, this is just preparation for graduation. So, you know, I need you guys to be live with me. All right. So we have 7 amazing poets that are going to grace this stage for the prize of $150 and the claim dominance and reign over the Spokane Valley Slam for an entire year. I don't know what that means, but inside that means, hey, you knew how to throw down on a microphone. So, are you ready? So, of course, just like in the first round, we are going to score these poets on a scale of 0 to 10 with a decimal. If a judge wants to do a 9.9 or an 8.8, you know the routine. But for those new in the crowd, welcome. So, let's do this. On deck, we have Owen Miller. But gracing the mic first to start off the final rounds of the Valley Slam. Get loud for Chris. Oh, one second. Oh my God, I'm off here. They don't even know who's coming up next. Again, rub your hands together for your host because he's messing up. Thank you. All right. That's how you know I'm not a robot. Boom. Okay. So, in the order of how each poet is going to perform this evening for the final round, first up we have Kristen Elber. Second, we'll have Owen Miller. Third is Rowan Agnew. Fourth is Aitken. Fifth is Ava Bryant. Sixth is Juliana Joy. And 7 is Juniper Beason. Y'all got that? We got that. All right. So on deck we have Owen Miller, but get loud one more time for Kristen Elber.
Hello, I'm Kristen Elber, if you didn't already know. And I'm going to be performing Birdcage. It's inspired by the Song of a Pretty Bird, and it's a poem written by Shay Alexi. So yeah, hope you enjoy. Another day staying where I am perfectly placed on their perch. They say I'm a good girl, stays put, observes, is seen and not heard. I'm put on display for everyone to see my array of colors on my wings. They also say I'm a beautiful girl that sings. They say this as if I've never heard my voice before. They've never heard my voice before. No one has ever heard my voice before. Never mind that. I need to stay perfectly placed on my perch. Their perch. These bars in this cage are blocking my view. Oh, what's beyond this cage? God, I wish I knew. They open the cage door every now and then just for me to be put in a smaller cage to be watched time and time again. They make me ruffle my feathers and puff my chest, but you know what they say? It's best to impress. Whenever I try to take flight to escape this anguish-bringing sight, my leg gets snatched from the restraint that is attached to these metal bars. But one day, I broke free. I flew onto a branch of a public tree. The tree is for everyone to use, including me. I take time to try and make up my mind, and finally, the stars have aligned. I now know things about me that I never knew before. It's like my mind, body, and soul were constantly at war. I have found my voice. It's loud, it's beautiful, and I want to rejoice. Now you're probably thinking, Kristen, where did you choose to go? Well, that's for me to know.
Get loud for Kristen for the final round. And of course, judges, can I see those scores in 3, 2, 1? All right. Well, I'm not the only one who's not a robot. All right. So we have an 8.2, an 8.1, an 8, an 8.3, and an 8.8 for Kristen. And can we get a final score, please? We have a 24.6. On deck, we have Rowan Agnew. Coming to the stage one more time, get loud for Owen Miller.
Okay, so for my second poem, I'm actually going to be sharing my first ever slam poem, which is a new experience for me. It's called, as a last minute title, God Forbid. Living life a drunken soldier. Fighting a war well near anywhere is intoxicating consciousness. For roar, we further suffice to violation, violence, and vice. Having almost never learned having almost never learned to tell cannon fodder from a neighbor, neither a lover nor a hater. Either way, we still never learn. Haven't we never learned that a palette of colors across the canvas of a clear blank slate gives life to all shades of light and dark? Or even a rainbow of romance with a hue of beauteous love? To live tomorrow is to live today, in the moment of spare change of those in need. A bidding sent in exchange for authenticity. But as white reflects light, black does it all the same, as do all the colors and forces of matter that in and of they do matter. To all of those who are to kill a mockingbird are to also destroy benevolence and innocence to one's content. Filibustering as much a fissured heart whose wounds bleed of shade like a plague, as a sequel to the bubonic death. Another end as though one wasn't already enough. It's all a pretentious cult of personality to whom one might say, may this be a war of the palate. And everybody else against all odds would deny the snakes' eyes, refusing to lose and continue to dishevel this confounded country, this confounded continent, this confounded world in quibble, riot, and God knows what against him and all. God forbid we make the same mistake thrice.
Get loud for Owen. Judges, you know what to do. Can I see those scores? 3, 2, 1. We have an 8.4, an 8.4, an 8.2, a 9, and a 9.2 for Owen. And we have a final score. Let's rub our hands together. Let's send that good energy. Math can be hard. I know it is for me. Whoa, we have a 25.8. On deck, we have Aitken. But gracing the stage one more time, get loud for Rowan Agnew.
Hello once again. My name is Rowan Agnew, as you've heard way too many times, and I will be presenting my poem called Clerd the Frog. Clerd, oh my word, what a beautiful sounding word. I had a dream, and you must have heard. I was strolling in between the tiles of my grandma's antique mosaic cupboard. That's where I met him, Clerd, in the tiles, in the cupboard, in my heart. Oh, what a nice, beautiful amphibian. Yes, an amphibian. That is Clerd, made out of the exposition of a manila folder away in a top-burning metal drawer, placed on gray matter carpeted ground. Scratch that. Sorry, my brain just took a walk around the block once or twice. He is just Clerd. That's okay. He's perfect, and it's nice.
Get loud for Rowan. There we go. More of that. More of that. And judges, can I get those scores? 3, 2, 1. We have an 8.3, an 8.5, a 7.9, an 8, and an 8.6. And a... Come again? Time penalty. Ooh, all right. So one thing I didn't go over when we began this, if you exceed the 3-minute mark, you do lose 0.5 of a point for every 10 seconds you exceed that 3-minute mark. So we have a 0.5 deduction, and so our final total for Rowan is... No worries. One more time. Get loud. Get loud. Come on. We have an 8.3. We have an 8.5, a 7.9, an 8, and an 8.6 with a 0.5 penalty. For a total of 24.3 for Rowan. On deck, we have Ava Bryant, but first, get loud one more time for Aitken.
This poem is called Lingua Aeterna. Translated from Latin, that means eternal language. Many know of Rome and its founding, the sacking of Troy and brave Aeneas carrying his old father on his shoulders, heavy with his son on his heels and his wife lost behind him. He arrives on the shores of Italy, builds a kingdom far from home, and years later, young Romulus quarrels with his brother and claims the kingdom as his own. Many know of Rome and its founding. Romulus, namesake and king, takes his brotherly love and dashes it to be lost in the hills of his newfound city. Remus, forgotten and forsaken, cowers in death, runs away like their mother to meet the she-wolf in the silver forest surrounding. Many know of Rome and its founding, the 7 kings building it up from mud huts to the pillars we see and revel at today. The wars and oaths and ransacks of cities all proved to make Rome into that shining kingdom so far away. Many know of Rome and its founding, but let me tell you a secret of its language, what I found in its words and phrases, in its orderly constructions mimicking those symmetrical structures that have been lost to time, shining in the archaeologist's eye. But I don't need any archaeologists to tell me of Roman life because its language speaks of it in magnitudes. And I found when I spoke the words of an emperor, I felt like one too. The pattern in Latin's nouns and verbs reflected that of its history, the systematic building of a kingdom vast and wide, and when I speak it, I feel that kingdom thrive in my mind.
And I know, many know of Rome and its founding, but until you speak its eternal language, you are missing a whole world that day after day astounds me.
Get loud for Allie! And judges, can I get those scores on a count of 3? 3, 2, 1. We have an 8.5. We have a 9.2. We have an 8.6. We have a 9.4 and another 9.4. And we have a grand total of 27.2 for Allie. On deck, we have Juliana Joy. But first, give it up one more time for Ava Bryant.
This poem is titled Seasick. An enigma, mind, body, and soul as deep, intricate, and mind-boggling as that of an octopus. Each layer of the ocean written as the phases of the night, descending into an unknown abyss, reflecting as more and more pieces of the puzzle, constructing the disaster representing the identity I wield. Handcrafted and hand-destructed by yours truly. Each person I meet in my life unknowingly contributes a scrap of their personality to the mess of shells and barnacles piled upon my head, shielding myself from the unseeing eyes of the pajama sharks and the vulturous tendencies of moray eels, hunting me as I slip through the wash of sea kelp and algae, trying desperately to mash my bumpy flesh to the sickening deep-sea green of the leaves and branches, and yet my blue-ringed spots still shine through the mask. The moon pushes and pulls on the tide, the very current that carries me home, knocking off the loose shells and stones that acted as my shield, the disguise that persuaded the giant clams and abalones that I am not a threat and I possess the same qualities of a mollusk as they do, despite having no true outer shield and 8 times the amount of limbs. My charade is swept into the swirling waters above my head, revealing the vulnerable, true form. Discussing the shellfish and drawing in the eels, the tornado of oysters and scallops taunts me just out of my reach, reminding me that my uniqueness, no matter how thoughtfully pieced together, whether it's as complex as a coral reef or as simple as that of a bed of lava rock, it cannot withhold against the strength of the sea. My abnormal fleshy limbs exposed to the lingering predators surrounding me is a warning that the pieces of rock and shell wrongly stolen from the snails and the crabs cannot hide the blue-ringed spots that pinpoint the alien-like creature that sparks wonder in the empty heads of the ocean, feeding the hunger of those who crave mystery until eventually I elude their clumsy grasp and duck into a nearby conch to merely observe. Peeking around the corner with my curious eyes, bright and blue and big enough to see the past, present, and future, too intelligent for my own good and sure of what to do with the knowledge that the handiwork of my identity is inevitably messy and unstable, incapable of fooling those with enough sense to dissect the fabrication of an exoskeleton created from the scraps upon the ocean floor. I'm seeking deeper into the shell, encapsulating my vision with the darkness of a cave I've descended into until the wounds to my ego are healed enough to re-enter the rash, unpromising waters that will undoubtedly remind me of who I truly am. I'm drawn to the shore, my instinct driven by desperation to escape the creatures hunting me. I find myself on a rock, gazing into the thrashing waves below. A warped image of myself reflecting back to me in her foamy tide, a chaotic scene of 8 arms being pulled in different directions, horns and spikes raised in a defensive manner, and my eyes holding back a wild scream. The instinctual stance taken when my true being is revealed, like a snail without its shell. Each wave sprays mist of Earth's finest material into my moon-soaked skin, embracing the luminescent rings on my flesh and casting a shower of stars into the mirrors of my eyes. The one being in this vast ocean that sees me as what I truly am is the ocean herself, claiming me as one of her alien-like, uncontrollable creatures who learns to embrace the blessings on the bottom of the ocean floor as invitations to enhance the mystifying way of my mind, body, and spirit until the day I die.
Get loud for Ava Bryant. Judges, can I get those scores in 3, 2, 1? We have an 8.3, a 9.4, a 9.4, a 9.2, and a 9.7. But wait, there's a 1-point time penalty. Say it loud. Come on, don't hold back on me. You know, boo. I'll boo for you. All right. So what we have for a total we have a 27 flat for Ava Bryant. And we only have 2 poets left before we get to find out who won this poetry slam. And with that said, don't fret, because even after tonight, if you want to check out more shows, there are plenty in the area to get your slam poetry fix. You can tune in every Saturday morning at 11 a.m. on 92.8 FM to hear Stephen Pitter's Thin Air Radio that is strictly for poetry. Check them out. Also, for those over the age of 21, you can find yourself at Bijou on Tuesday nights, hosted by our judge, Serotonin Rooney, from 7 p.m. to 9:30. Yeah. And so with that said, let's get into this. On deck, we have Juniper Beason. But gracing the stage one more time, get loud for Juliana Joy.
Something I would like to ask while I'm setting up my papers. Everyone who came here today prepared 2 poems. If you see someone who performed today, ask them what their second poem was. Listen to it. Not everybody gets a chance to give their second one. Without further ado, here's TikTok by yours truly. Hi, welcome to my YouTube channel. Today we're going to glitch. Sorry to interrupt your regularly scheduled program. Talk. The constant ticking of the clock you can never escape. I'm sure this won't come as a shock, wading through thick red tape. Tick, hick, hickory, dickory, you're the mouse running down the clock. Tick-tock, tick-tock, your time is running out. Tick-tock, tick-tock, leaving nothing but doubt. Buzz, plug in and check out. A friend tagged me in a post. Scroll. 3 hours go by. Tick, tap, click, talk, swipe, tick, ding, talk. Scroll away a lifetime. Lock away the world. Forget about the broken, the loss and hurt unfurled. Your platforms raised you up above the pain and crime. Your addiction tied you down, siphoning away your time. It's no different than a pacifier. You claim it's not, but you're a liar. Your constant voracious greed, an endless scroll of dopamine, the earth left choking on your feed, and we're just staring at a screen. Glitch. Like, comment, and subscribe.
Get loud one more time for Juliana Joy. And judges, can I see those scores in 3, 2, 1? We have a 9.1. Tick tock. We have a 9.6. We have a 9.2. We have an 8.7 and a 9.6. Say it loud. One more time. One more time. Should have all been. I'm not saying any. I'm a judge. I'm a host. But you directed it. Them. I'm just saying. We have a 27.9. And so, we only have one poet left, but they are going to blaze the stage. So get loud one more time for Juniper Beason!
Thank you. I appreciate the confidence boost. Every person has a voice, a message to display, their own thoughts and feelings, and what they'd like to say. I'm no different in this equation. I have feelings too. It's merely a coincidence that they relate to you. I'd like to hear your stories, to know what makes you, you, the memories tied to your bones, the past that still rings true. Tell me where you come from, and tell me where you're going. We only have 3 minutes, but your life is still worth knowing. Because it makes you human. That makes me human too. We're both alive on Earth, but I guess that's nothing new. This world's been here for eons, and humans just a minute. But I'm glad that you're here with me. I'm so happy that you're in it. There's a lot we need to say, even more we need to do. But if we work together, our aspirations will come through. We need to be united, to stand together as a whole, because we're only humans after all. Thank you.
Get loud one more time for Juniper. All right, so lovely people of Spokane Valley Slam, how we feeling? Poets, how we feeling? Absolutely. Get loud for every single poet that performed here tonight. This is your top 7. This is representing you. And I feel you guys are going to bring a lot of heat coming finals. Yeah. I'm amazed with each and every last one of you. So with that said, can we get those final scores, judges? 3, 2, 1. We have an 8.9, an 8.5, a 7.4, a 7.1, and an 8.4. For a total of I want those boos to be louder. Like, practice up for the finals, Yeah, got to come live. All right, so we have a 24.3 for Juniper. And so as our scorekeepers tally up 7th through 1st place, we are going to have a very special person come up with some checks for our top 3 winners of the evening. So with that said, can you give a round of applause for Danielle Milton? Danielle is the managing librarian of the Spokane Valley Library. Full of knowledge, full of books, And she got a pocket full of cash right there. So, y'all ready to see who won this? Yeah, all right. I know you all have your own personal favorites, so I just want you all to yell out at the same time who you hope wins. Huh? You want to hear a poem from me? All right. All right. I got to keep it appropriate. I don't want this to be my last show. All right. Okay. Well, you can't go wrong with ice cream. Everyone loves ice cream. So, even those who are lactose intolerant, we enjoy ice cream. So, if childhoods had a theme song, it would be the jubilant tune of ice cream trucks. Music to ears, we drop reality and depart. Racing through adolescence, surpassing the restriction of fences, leaving authority unlatched and the world wide open. Cloths on our backs in the wind, waving goodbye to dependence, carelessly aware that one day adulthood would arrive after dark. Old money was tossed from purses and wallets, aging gracefully. Adding value as wealth trickled down, handing some youth financial stability. New money was tossed a life of lemons, told to use creativity, making lemonade stands, stirring tragedies. That sour taste of Darwinism, coated in the sugars of gospels, fast food and TV fantasies, sat in a glass jug of imagery labeled pageantry. We pour cups of despair, saving for our dreams, chasing ice cream trucks everlastingly. The older we became, the faster that truck drove, running before we were blown like a snack kid's nose, wiped from the earth and disposed. Grass in neighborhood yards overgrow, bodies are the only thing mowed, chasing dreams, running from lawn care, clipping at young souls. Each day we became more complacent, realizing there was no outrunning reality. Legos stacked us in the cell blocks. Dream castles and sandboxes withered through labored hands. Damaged minds could create striking images, but snapped and went wasted like broken crayons. We reside in spaces the size of dollhouses, where rent and offspring ought make pretend. Strangers transform out of friends, and we learn to keep distance. One night, street lights came on, casting a spotlight on our adolescence. No one called us home, and we were left in adulthood, running from our days, bound to account the darkness, mouths full of past regrets like childhood cavities. Chasing sweet dreams can make it painful to smile. Wipe yourself off like scraped knees when chasing dreams of the ice cream that fell from your hands into reality. Rise with dirt on your shoulders and carry the earth. The sun rises as we now move to the sound of our own tune. Behind our drive, a new generation of youth pursue. Let them pick our open minds laid out like ice cream menus. Advise them to keep chasing dreams long after adolescence meets its last moon. Because if childhoods had a theme song and it came from my speaker, it would be a heart pulsing through neighborhoods, reminding society that you are still alive. Young souls running together evokes unity. Their souls pounding on concrete throbs my heart's beat. And I will stop my drive in order to become a provider of dreams, even if it's only ice cream. Thank you. Nonetheless, let's get down to why we are here for the evening, and we have our winners on deck. One more round of applause for all poets that performed tonight. Another round of applause for our top 7 representing the Valley. And when you win tonight, stand up here awkwardly just like I have for the last 2 hours, because your family and friends and admirers alike are going to want many, many photos. So let's do this. In third place, for $50, we have Ava Bryant. Come on, get louder than that. Get louder. Come on. Second place, we have for $100, Juliana Joy. That's more like it. There we go. Get loud. Come on. Ah! Keep it going. Keep it going. Come on. They ain't up here yet. Come on. And our winner of the Valley Slam and the total of $150. I want you to get loud, blow the roof off this place. For Aitken! And these are your winners of the Valley Slam. I want to give a round of applause to our 5 judges who allowed us to boo and cheer them as they got scores right, and even when they didn't. And I want to thank our mathematicians who were the brains of the operation making the points happen. I want to thank Danielle for holding the money and making sure that our poets got what they deserve. And I want to thank every last one of you for being here. And I want to see you all and more on April 11th, which is a Taco Tuesday, for more slam poetry. My name's Twan Simultaneous, and it was a pleasure to be with you all. Good night.